we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work.
To all the people Trump deported, y'all should be proud. Because Trump just sat on Fox Live and said the quiet part out loud. Huh? To all the people Trump deported, y'all should be proud because Trump just sat on Fox Live and said the quiet part out loud. Trump just said, I kicked all of them out too fast. We thought once we kicked them out, all the people in urban communities, aka black people, was going to get back in these fields. Trump, what the hell you thought this was? Selma? Hell no, we ain't doing that.
Are more than likely not going to come back, but they're also in Canada right now. Like, Canada's offering them all types of incentives. Equal pay, healthcare. Yeah. They said that Canada is like literally, hey, what you need, we got it. Come over here. We could really use your help. Da 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 da. Meanwhile, Mexico also is rebuilding Mexico. Like, they're reinvesting into Mexico. And when I tell you, MAGA and the Republicans are so...
Trump keeps biting his own tongue. Whatever the plans he puts in place, they keep backfiring. Like his deportation policies. Right now, he's regretting that. Because the black people that they thought are going to be forced back to the farms, they did not give in. They refused. Even if, still, black people have lost the most jobs in this administration, they still did not give in. And as a result, yeah, he's palm-colored supremacists. Yes, they are still losing. And now, he wants to bring back the immigrants. And guess what? Some of the immigrants are in negotiations with Canada. So they've already gotten a good place. Some of them are like, we ain't coming back. Hey, my people. Welcome back to the channel. I do hope that from wherever you all are watching this from, you are doing alright, and hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. To you that support me, thank you so very much, my members. Big shout out to you guys. You do me amazing, amazing. Yes, we have this interesting episode where Trump was on Fox News, and it seems like he's regretting everything because he thought the homegrowns, the so-called indentured servants, the so-called black Americans, yes, he wanted them back in the fields. They refused. And as a result, he has nothing else to do but to bring back the immigrants. Let's watch the clips of the reactions and we'll come back and talk about it. Just do me a favor, like the video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll be back.
But, Mr. President, I just want to hear you clearly. You're saying the people who have been here for years and who have been even paying taxes, you're going to look at them very differently, and maybe they belong here in the workforce?
I want to work with them, and in some cases, we're sending them back to their country with a pass back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on. But we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried. We've tried. Everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. Naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead. They die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Blatant, unfiltered racism. And I want to break this down line by line because it's not just offensive. It's dangerous. He said, we're sending them back. They're schooling. They're learning. Then they're coming in legally. Translation, if you're undocumented, you're disposable. He's saying immigrants have to be trained, disciplined, controlled. It's not policy talk. That's colonial language. That's racism. Then he goes on, we have to take care of our farmers. We can't let them not have anybody. So now immigrants aren't even people. They're labor. They're tools for white farmers. That's a plantation mindset straight up. Then he says, people in the inner city aren't doing that work. They just don't do it. We've tried. Come on. We all know what inner city means when he says it. That's code for black folks. He's calling us lazy without saying the word. It's the same lie this country's been telling since slavery ended, that black people are unwilling to work. And I for one tell you that's a damn lie. Then, and this is where it goes pretty dark, he says, these people do it naturally. Now he's talking about Latino immigrants and he's saying they're born for this labor, born for back-breaking work. That's not a compliment, that's eugenics. That's the same twisted logic used to justify slavery, that certain people were made to suffer for someone else's profit. Then he caps it all off with this nightmare quote, if they get a bad back, they die. And he says, that's interesting. Interesting? You're describing human beings being worked until death. And you call that interesting? I'm sorry, that's not leadership. That's not strength. That's pure evil. This ain't just racism. This is a full-blown worldview built on white supremacy, anti-blackness, and immigrant exploitation. It's dehumanizing, it's violent, and it's intentional. So let's be clear, when he says things like this, he's not just saying the quiet part out loud. He's laying out the blueprint. We've seen this before. Divide black and brown communities. Use one. Blame the other. Keep us fighting each other so we don't see who's holding the whip. But we see it now, and we're not falling for it, you idiot. Calling it what it is. Racism. Plain and simple. And if you're okay with it, then go ahead and say that. You're a racist too. But don't dare to pretend it's just policy. We're not blind. We're not stupid. We're for damn sure not silent.
Trump went on Fox News and basically said, we shouldn't have kicked the immigrants out. The farmers ain't got nobody. The inner city people ain't gonna do it, so we need to bring them back. Damn right, the people in the inner city ain't doing that work. He basically thought he was gonna deport everybody and then we was gonna go back in those fields. What the hell this man was thinking? Those days is over and they ain't coming back. Now he wanna think about bringing the immigrants back because farmers are struggling. You should have thought about that beforehand. You already knew these people wasn't going to survive because you took away they people to help run their shit. Now he doubling down and he want them to come back legally. Now get the fuck out of here.
You know, there's something being left out of the discussion when we unpack the statements that Taco made about immigrants being naturally born to do the farm work. Because when you listen to it again, you are going to see that he actually said the quiet part out loud. The Taco actually echoed the same thing that many Black Americans have been saying since last year when he was running. Don't ever forget that last year when he brought up immigration on the campaign trail, one of the main things that he said was that these immigrants are coming here stealing Black jobs. You fast forward to now, and his barbaric immigration policy that is essentially summed up to grabbing Hispanic people off of these farms, grabbing Hispanic people out of these places of work, holding them in detention facilities. What is one thing Black Americans kept saying to everybody? They're doing this explicitly for the purpose of getting us back out into those fields. It is not a coincidence that while this immigration policy is happening, we have actually seen the largest amount of job loss among Black Americans, specifically Black women. Black women lost 300,000 jobs over the 6 months that this man has been president. And now we hear him saying yesterday that not only are they naturally born to do this work, but he makes a point to say the people in the inner city won't do it. It means the plan that they had has fallen flat on its face. They really thought they were going to be able to round these people up, get them out of here, and then somehow encourage Black America to get back out there in those fields. If they got their way, it probably would have happened around the same time that he was floating the idea of these farmers and these hotel workers taking ownership of the workers that they have. We cannot look at these statements as isolated. They're all connected because this man and the people who support him have had a one-track mind for decades concerning this issue. The society that they are working so hard to rebuild in the 4 years that this man is going to be president is exactly what we told you it was going to be. But I promise you, the harder they try, the more hurdles they are going to run into, because we will never be going back to the life that they envision for the American people.
To all the people Trump deported, y'all should be proud. Because Trump just sat on Fox Live and said the quiet part out loud. Huh? To all the people Trump deported, y'all should be proud because Trump just sat on Fox Live and said the quiet part out loud. Trump just said, I kicked all of them out too fast. We thought once we kicked them out, all the people in urban communities, aka Black people, was going to get back in these fields. Trump, What the hell you thought this was? Selma? Hell no, we ain't doing that. Nigga, we'll sell t-shirts on our truck before we do that. I hope that wasn't part of the game plan originally. Trump said, listen, we got to get some of the people that we kicked out of the country back. We got to get them back legally. We'll give them their papers and all. We ain't got no damn farmers. You didn't think about this before you kicked them out? Huh? Listen, the last people who were doing that, their last name was Tubman and shit. That we ain't into that no more. We got black businesses. We'll figure it out here. Okay, we'll buy a couple stamps. We ain't doing that. Listen, to all the African people, Haitian, Spanish, whoever got kicked out of the country, even people who was doing good in their country in England and British people, listen, he needs y'all back. He ain't think about it. This is your time to get your paperwork together and come back legally so that way nobody can mess with y'all for generations to come, okay? Trump said, listen, I thought about it. I kicked y'all out, but our economy wasn't ready for that. The economy said, oh, wait a minute, nigga. Oh, this ain't that type of party, okay? So now he's working on getting them back. Now, Trump did say some wild stuff about, he asked some farmers what happened if they back break. I'm not even repeating that whole joke because it's kind of crazy. But Trump, I don't think nobody proofread what he got to say. I don't think he read none of the stuff that they tell him to say. I think he just say whatever come to mind. Listen, Trump said he got to get the illegals back so they can be legal, okay? I'm just here to bring y'all the news. I'm just a messenger.
Hey guys, it's Leash. Listen, your president, not mine, has decided that he is going to reverse this whole deportation situation and is suggesting that people come back to America to work these farms and everything. Not saying sorry, not acknowledging that what he did was probably one of the most horrific things you could do to people and families, children, tearing families apart or anything. No, he is basically saying that, the farmers here need help. And so they're going to educate them, get them legally sent back to this country to do the work that he thought the folks in the inner city would have been able to do. Clearly, if you read between those lines, he thought that black people were going to get out in these fields and do the work that the folks that he deported would have done. And to that I say, sir, you are so detached from the people that it is pathetic at this point. How in the hell did you think that black people were going to get in the fields and do that work? Like, is anyone like consulting with you? I'm being so serious, y'all, because it's like, sir, most black people are established in some way, which speaks to the lack of understanding and knowledge and whatever else you want to say as it relates to black people and understanding the progression of black people in this country. Not everybody's waiting for some handout and, oh yeah, I'll go work those fields. You're smoking something, sir. And it's not good. It's not good. So yeah, that's your president. He's a hot mess. And yeah.
Okay, so now that you have actually heard the clip, that you've heard the recording for yourself, let's actually break down exactly what Donald Trump has said so far. He started off that clip or that recording stating, how, they have policies in plan of trying to help the farmers, right? Because they desperately need these migrant workers. They need these undocumented migrant workers. They can't leave them without anybody. That right there is admission that the United States agriculture economy is taking a hit behind his policies and his mass deportations. That's the first thing. Donald Trump stresses the fact that the American farmers cannot be left without anybody. They cannot be left without anybody. And then he further goes on by saying that the undocumented migrant workers that he once was calling illegal criminals are very, very special people. They're very, very special people that cannot be easily replaced. Right after Donald Trump makes that statement and say that they cannot be replaced easily, he goes right into stating that inner city people are not doing that work. Words have meanings, okay? When it comes to this government and this American society, when they say inner people, they're referring to black people. And when he said that kind of work, he's talking about field work. In addition to him stating that inner city people will not be doing that kind of work, he goes on by saying that I've tried. We've tried. Everybody's tried. You know who everybody is? The American government, white supremacy. And do you want to know what their version of trying was? DEI eliminations. DEI eliminations. And not just that, but the undoing of so many policies and acts that actually allowed for black people to have equal footing amongst white people in certain areas and certain spaces. The elimination of DEI programs and incentives were intended to push Black people out of the spaces that white people deemed should only be for them. And I'm talking about admin jobs. I'm talking about jobs in medicine, in accounting. They wanted Black people to go back to back-breaking work, okay? Being in the field, hospitality work. That's what they wanted. As of right now, 300,000 women have been displaced from employment, okay? They have lost their jobs. And they thought, and when I say they, this white supremacy American government thought that those 300,000 Black women were going to go back into the field. Instead, they got creative. And so with all of these mass deportations, they thought that they were going to be able to fill the roles with their original laborers, okay? Their labor workers, Black people. Now, see, if there's only two things that you take from this video, the first thing that I want you to take away is the fact that America's success is directly dependent on its labor, free labor, an amount of free labor that they're able to exploit from the citizens, okay? And the second thing is that Black Americans will always be their first target. That will always be their first target. When they think about getting free labor, exploited free labor, they will always think of Black Americans. Do you understand the level of hatred, jealousy, animosity that you have, that this American Constitution has to have to literally pick at one group of people forever, to the point where they are willing to wipe out all other races to try to get this one race of people to bow down? And they refuse. You guys, America, had labor that you were already exploiting, but you were willing to get rid of them in mass deportations, all because you wanted to push Black people out of those offices. You wanted to push them out of those doctor coats and those labs. You wanted to push them out of those research trials. You wanted them to be in the field. So you got rid of the migrant workers that were here that you were already exploiting, because if that's one thing that America knows how to do, is exploit some labor. You already had it, but you got rid of them, hoping that you can force Black people back into those positions. And now because Black people said, let it all burn. Let it all burn. Before you come and get me, let it all burn. Now that Black people have actually said that and stood on that, you guys are realizing how fucked you really are. White supremacy, white American supremacy is realizing how fucked they really are. Because how many Black people do you know was opening up their mouth to say that, yeah, these immigrants, these migrant workers are taking our jobs? Not one Black person. Not one Black person said that. And by the way, that's what they meant when they were saying Black jobs. Hospitality, cleaning people's homes, taking care of people's kids, picking berries. That's what they wanted as Black jobs. They don't want us to be engineers. They don't want us to be doctors. They don't want us to be comedians. They don't want us to be anything. They don't want us to do nothing but work for them. And now because of America's racism and all you MAGA supporters that went and voted in hopes of making America great again, which really means white people in the office, Black people in the fields, all right? You guys are actually really realizing how much you fuck yourselves over. You really fuck yourselves over. Racism is expensive. It's really expensive. They say that with each great empire comes a great fall. And it looks like America's on its way.
So for those of you guys that didn't know, Trump did an interview in which he basically talked about regretting the deportations, the mass deportations, right? And he also stated that it was under the impression of the Republicans and the people that are basically giving him these strategies that the Black community would eventually get back in the field, that we would take the place of the people that he deported. I'm not sure who told him that. I don't know who told him that shit. But you need to go ahead and fire that person, because, baby, we agreed to fuck. Not only are we agreed to fuck, we have buyer power and seller power, and we're a literal force. I mean, Black women alone are such a threat that they had to change federal law to make Black loan or Black grants that are strictly for Black women and Black-owned businesses inclusive to everybody, because we were growing so quickly. Anyways, and they saw us coming from a mile away. They were like, these motherfuckers, God damn, these bitches are. And is the most educated group in this nation, period. What? Anyways, and long story short, if you didn't see my video that I posted on my other page where we're literally over there having a ball in the comments talking about it, they're telling me over there, and I had to come run over here to tell y'all that not only are they, it's a good possibility, them people that, the citizens that had yet to receive their citizenship are more than likely not going to come back, but they're also in Canada right now. Like, Canada's offering them all types of incentives. Equal pay, healthcare. Yeah. They said that Canada is like literally Hey, what you need, we got it. Come over here. We could really use your help. Da 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 da. Meanwhile, Mexico also is rebuilding Mexico. Like they're reinvesting into Mexico. And when I tell you, MAGA and the Republicans are so we're seeing the videos, we're passing around videos and information about the farmers that are in like Idaho, Iowa, Nebraska. Nebraska's tanking right now. You voted for your own destruction. And that's true to all Republicans. You voted for your own destruction. And now the leader of the people who told you to do so is letting you know he regrets doing so because the black people are quote unquote lazy and won't get out in the fields and do the work. We already have jobs. You lit what the and now you're blaming, why is it always our fault? Even when we're at rest, it's even when we're at rest, it's still the 92%'s fault. What the fuck we do this time? God damn it. Those black educated motherfuckers. What? We didn't do anything wrong. Anyways, shout out to to the citizens that was deported, for standing your ground and showing them what your worth is because they needed that wake up call. And if they offer you incentives to come back here, do not come back here. Hold the line as long as you can until they triple the amount that they were paying you before. Make them pay. Flip that. You better take the lint out of them pockets. Do you understand what I'm saying? Flip that mother inside out. Let them know what's up. Because baby, the way the produce looking, the way the restaurant industry is struggling, okay, the way they can't find a good mechanic, the way the housing industry is tanking. You better hold that line. Girl, you better know your worth.
Oh, it is so good to see the plans that he has backfiring. I'm not gonna lie. It is so good. Because people have been there telling him it's not gonna work. He never listened because he thinks he is right all the time until when he messes up so bad. Now tell me the logic behind you pushing them out and now you're saying you're bringing them back as legals. What is the logic behind that? They were criminals before, right? Terrible people. They were doing all the bad stuff in the United States of America. They are taking and dragging US down, right? What has changed about them? The same people that you're looking for. It's so interesting that a lot of these people have already started seeking opportunities with Canada, and Canada has already started, giving them deals, which is amazing. But goodness, the people that believe in him, I hope they see that he, out of the blue, just does something without a backup plan. And I think people have been saying this all along, yeah? He wakes up and is like, yeah, do that. Don't ask questions, just do it. Deport people. And it's unfortunate, even if he's talking about how they are, allowing people back in the country because the farmers, and everything is going down. They are actually still kidnapping people off the streets, kidnapping even American citizens. Yes, they are still doing that. Yeah. So the cruelty that they have applied on these people, the humiliation that they have taken these people through, some of them had due processes. Some of them were not even here, like illegally. Some of them were still legal. All of that. Let's forget about that and save the so-called old palm-colored supremacist farmers. Yeah, for people that would be wondering, there's no way he said it's going to be black people that were supposed to be working on these farms. There's a man that came out that infiltrated through a palm-colored, supremacist group that said, we thought black people are going to do this. The number and the amount of black people that are losing jobs, that have lost jobs, especially during this, only 6 months, right? Okay, let's say 7 months. It's incredible, like it's a huge number. And why were they losing those jobs? Because they thought if we rob them of all the opportunities and leave them no option, they are still going to go back. And now the same people that he used to call illegals, criminals, they are very special. Fafo started as a simple statement, but it's so good to see him, Fafo. It is so good to see him, Fafo. And for the black community, you've heard what they had to say. There is no way you're going to drag them back into slavery, because there's absolutely nothing you can give them. Yeah? Nothing. There's nothing that can persuade them to go back. They know you've always wanted to own them again. And by the way, the same logics that he's using is the same logic that was used during slavery. Yeah? They had already started talking about ending this trade, right? And so many billionaires and millionaires were like, yeah, but what are we going to do if we stop it? Who's going to work on these farms? Who's going to produce? Yeah? Like, literally, what justifies slavery? The fact that you're making money? Yeah? And it's the same thing. That these people are even paid pennies, like little pennies, and they still endure, right? But now they're like, they're so special. We need to bring them back. They do it so naturally. Some logic they used during slavery. These people are strong. These people are the only ones that are talented. These people are the only ones that have the skill. These people are the only ones that have, the capacity to endure all these tough weathers on these farms. They are the only ones. Nobody else can. Yeah? And now? Well, to those that were deported, hopefully you get a chance to come back in the United States. But is there some type of way that these people that were humiliated, that were literally dragged, kidnapped, is there any way they are going to be compensated for the inhumane behaviors, for the trauma that was caused not only to them but to their families, for the families that were raped, to the children that were literally cuffed? What is going to be done to those kids and those families? Yeah? It's an FAFO. You thought black people are going to do it. Unfortunately, you ended up shooting yourself in the foot. And they keep doing it over and over. The same country they want to say they want to make it great again. Instead of making it great again, they're actually putting it down. Yeah? So they keep literally, they do it to themselves over and over and over and over. They bring their own country down without even any effort of any other person. Those that are watching, let me know what you think, because from me for today, that's it. I do appreciate all of you that love me, support me, super thank me, the subscribers, the members, those that comment, that like, that share. Thank you so very much. Don't stop. Continue doing that. Continue liking and sharing. And let me know what you think in the comment section. I will see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Gracie and I love all of you. Stay safe out there. May God protect you, preserve you, and provide for you, heal you, and yes, open your eyes to see the next step in your life. Love all of you and bye.